Hello, everyone. My name is Dominic DeMaria with Porcupine Real Estate. I am joined here today with Chris Nadeau from Lakeview Mortgage, and we're here for another in our series of Financing FAQs. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Dominic. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Excellent. I'm glad you're here. So we're here today to talk about the difference between pre-approval and being pre-qualified.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different language around those things, and it can be very confusing for new buyers. It's confusing for me. So what can you tell us? What's the difference between those two things?
A pre-qualification really means that it hasn't really been vetted. A lot of the, say, 10-minute pre-qualifications that you hear on TV for people to, get an answer in a handful of minutes. People's incomes and assets and oftentimes credit haven't even been evaluated on those. So a pre-approval is when you submit your, obviously the full application, a credit report is pulled, you submit all of your income and your bank statements, all the information that an underwriter is going to need to see when your file goes into underwriting after you have an offer accepted. So all that info can be reviewed and basically and verified. So that's a real pre-approval. And that's what I do for every loan that I have. If you're not looking at all that information, you're just doing your client a disservice, because what if there's a surprise? What if there's a deposit they can't source? What if they're self-employed and they state that they make more money than they really show in their taxes, or they've got all this income, or the job history's off, or whatever it is? There's a number of reasons. It just makes sense to iron these things out in the beginning to make sure that when they do have a house under agreement, that process is nice and smooth and we know that it's going to get to closing.
Sure. So a pre-qualification, just to kind of sum that all up, is the first step kind of thing, where it's the quick run of numbers to see if you're eligible.
Honestly, I think a pre-qualification is just a waste of time for everyone. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. So I wouldn't even do it. If you're going to talk to someone, just get the pre-approval.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
As far as pre-approval goes, what does that process look like? What kind of information does somebody need to have ready to go through a pre-approval?
So it differs for everyone, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. I'm going to ask you for, if you're a W-2 worker, I'm going to ask you for the last couple of years of W-2s, current pay stubs, current bank statements, and your driver's license. And if you're self-employed, it's going to be a couple of years of tax returns, bank statements, and driver's license. It's really simple. And if there's more stuff involved in a situation, like there's child support or something, we'll get into that. But for the most part, it's really, really simple. It just doesn't make sense to not supply that information. It literally takes an extra 10 minutes.
Right. And it's always good to have this ready to go before you start looking at houses. In the current markets, most people won't even consider an offer unless they're pre-approved already.
Exactly. And I really feel as though the buyer's doing themselves a disservice as well if they don't have that, because then they know that they are, not only can they afford it, but they know that they're willing to afford that house that they're going for. So if we have everything done in the beginning, they know what to expect. They know what their out-of-pocket expenses are going to look like, what their payments are going to look like. It just gives everyone a feeling of being comfortable.
Well, great. How can people get in touch with you, Chris?
Please call me. It's the best way. 603-582-5626.
Great. And we'll link that in the description of this video too. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Bye.